salespeople are no longer greasy 60-year-old like weirdos chain smoking cigs. They're like 25-year-old people going to Coachella and wearing culturally appropriating costumes, blacking out, and then showing up and closing $1 million deals with CEO of AT&T.
Chain vaping. Yeah.
Chain vaping and their jewels and their, it's there's a slight, is it an evolution? I don't know. It's a change.
On this episode of Brews BizDev, I talk with Ross Pomerantz, better known as Corporate Bro. And we hit subjects like why being a salesperson is basically being a professional loser and why that's okay. How not to call out crappy sales tactics on LinkedIn and how to call them out and have it be okay. And actually how to start or maybe improve your modern sales game using your strengths and creativity. Also, we talk a lot about eating crayons, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. Thanks for checking it out. Enjoy. Well, Mr. Ross / Corporate Bro, thanks for joining us, man. How's it going?
Of course, an honor. I'm all good. No complaints here. There's a lot to complain about, but not much for me right now.
Good. Yeah,
I got a nice crispy cold brew with me, so
beautiful.
Thanks for looking up for the rest of the night.
Yeah, well, let's hit it off right there so we know what beer are you drinking / featuring here. I'm
featuring the 805.
Okay.
And they aren't paying me exactly $0 to say that. But they are my favorite beer. They're not like doing too much. Central Coast, California, I'm fairly certain. I'm no beer connoisseur either. But it's not one of those like fancy beers where it's just like, oh, can they taste all the flavors? It's also not like quite a light beer. It's got just enough.
Yeah.
And I can drink a lot of these and, and they're not creamy Bud lattes.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm a little classier and I can drink a lot of them and they taste good too. So
yeah. It's not Bush and it's not, some fucking experience you have to take in and you can just drink.
I don't have to like wear a scarf and a beanie to really get the essence.
Good. So. Yeah. I mean, I know you have that gear from watching some of your videos.
I do have that gear. It's somewhere right around here.
Bust that shit out. Well, and here I am, Big Ditch Hayburner, local Buffalo brew, which is my staple at this point. I think kind of similar. I was thinking of like maybe I'll get creative and get something that's closer. I looked up 805 and I'm like, all right, like maybe I should get something close. And I thought, no, the reason you picked that is the reason I drink this is my default, where it's better than like what beer used to be even 10 years ago.
Right.
And it's not like, oh my God, can you taste, are you picking that up on your palate? Like
tasting that experience. Are you experiencing this?
Yeah, you just want to
I am. I'm tasting it because it's in my mouth.
Like roll it around in there, as Michael Scott would say. Oh, oaky afterbirth. That's nice.
Yeah. No afterbirth for me. maybe later. God willing.
Yeah, smooth going down. And normally I had to get a new one to crack open because I like to crack it open when we start the show. But I was just sitting here for half an hour drinking the one before this. So hopefully this doesn't get
just getting ready.
Yeah,
that's all right. I got another one right here waiting for me too.
Yeah, good thinking. And I've got a couple bottles behind me just in case I need to really.
Those look fancy too.
Yeah, well, actually, it's this one is empty. Pure prop, classic marketing, but it's a 1970
last couple weeks. So
1974 Canadian Club, which someone here set up on my table because it's like Don Draper. This is what he would always drink in the fucking show. So
that's classy as fuck right there.
Oh yeah, it's a classy prop, and then I have 4 roses behind it. That's what I actually drink. So it's nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, marketing in full effect. But let's get into being professional losers, right? Because there's a couple things that I think that we actually have in common in strange ways. I mean, I did do a comedy contest once, so I pretty much got that nailed. I did do a stand-up contest. Yeah, I at a Helium here in Buffalo, and I almost made it out of that first round. I did meet my goal, which was don't be the worst fucking person in the room. Mission accomplished.
Reasonable goal on day one for sure.
Yeah, well, managed expectations, and I hit it out of the park as far as that goes. As far as advancing or ever doing that again, not so much. But when you hit the home run on your first try, like what the fuck else is there to do, right? So
For sure.
so there's the comedy, and then there's the mix, which, I mean, if you were in full character, you would have to just fucking fight me tooth and nail on this, right? But the reality of, I think, where you are is you are and have been in sales, and then largely, oh my God, like a lot of what you do now, like the world of being a content creator kind of falls into marketing. So so as someone who creates really high quality content like this myself over Zoom cameras, and then has to sell shit to justify my existence in the world, I can feel both sides of the pain a little bit. I hate most marketing, and
I hate them.
most marketers and most marketing. I also hate most salespeople,
Same.
and what they do, though I don't, if I'm going to call them out on LinkedIn, I might scrub the name and their identity off of it first, right?
Yeah, you don't. I will bring the savage army upon you if you don't.
Apparently,
I will bring it. I will bring the hammer down.
So hit me with the concept of being a professional loser. Just talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the fact of the matter is, and I've said this a bunch of times, and I was a baseball player for a long time, and you fail a lot in sales. You do. You're faced with constant rejection. You're making calls hoping to convert a small percentage of them. You're sending emails out hoping to get like a 1% response rate, obviously depending on your industry. There is a big numbers component, a big metrics component, and the best salespeople still lose a lot. I think in a lot of ways, in the spectrum of closed deals, the best reps are the differentiators of like a 5 to 10% close rate. On those like 50-50 deals. The best sales reps to me close the 50-50 deals. The worst ones lose them. And then there's the ones in the middle that just show up and like the timing's right. It's all perfect. You'd have to be real fuck up to blow that deal. Yeah. Like it was going to happen. So being able to handle the losing is what to me dictates a successful rep or a professional sales rep. You can't tell if it's the best day of their lives or the worst day of their lives. So learning to come to grips with that, not show it emotionally, and just recognizing that is part of the game, like that is like shockingly easier said than done.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. Well, then you get into it and you get those first couple cold calls, you get a variety of responses, and you're like, wow, this is my life now. But the thing is, like, when you win, it's the same thing. It's like, you ever hit like a home run or like, scored a goal in soccer and like there's one a game, that there's nothing like that. And then you start chasing that, and then you start getting that a little bit more often. And that's kind of what keeps you going.
Yeah. Chasing the dragon, I think they call that, right?
Chasing that dragon. Yeah. I didn't want to say that because it sounded, there's like drug reference to that for me.
Yeah.
And I've been chasing that for a long time.
Right. Yes. And if there's
I've been finding that
have
dragon,
never gone together, it's sales and drugs.
In my closet back there.
Yeah. Yeah. I found him. Dragon. I got him. He's mine. Yeah. So, and I think that with the professional loser thing, and, you talk about that, and mostly, and I used to do some consulting of, kind of one of those self-employed folks. And then, our customers are businesses, right? So we're in B2B. So most of the time, whether you're talking about sales, certainly whether you're talking about, if you're doing some kind of a marketing campaign, if you're talking about a fucking business itself, business ideas, like investing, entrepreneurship is really big. Shark Tank kind of shit is really big in this culture. And you lose most of the time, like by far, right? It's not even particularly close, like the wins to the losses. And I think I heard you say when you're talking with Erica, right? I mean, even, the best baseball player is like 70% loser, right? You're fucking Hall of Fame if you lost, right. You're at bat 70% of the time. So, but there are still better ways of doing things than some of what's getting done. And I've personally done some calling out of bad shit, on LinkedIn and different places. Now, again, I don't put people's names on it. I scrub it. I make references, and hopefully, and I've fucking talked about it in this podcast before about really bad form approaches on LinkedIn, with the caveat that, it might not be your choice. Right. Like you might be getting told to do something that sucks, and please God, my feedback is find another job, like find a different company that like might give you some latitude. And in some cases you just don't know. So call outs without actually constructive information, not all that helpful. It's easy to do because
exactly it's just too easy. And I'm not here to say that shit shouldn't be called out. Like there's plenty of sales reps who are fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Like we all know that. Just like in any
Mhm.
profession, there's people who suck at it.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to say that like bad sales tactics shouldn't be called out.
Mhm.
I'm totally fine with that. To me, it just fundamentally came down to naming a person and a company for something that was so fucking innocuous. Like it was like a tissue. It was tissue paper
Yeah.
of an email. And I've seen some bad shit. I've seen some like passive aggressive. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some salespeople like they cross the line to stalker and say some really weird shit, do some weird shit. This
Mhm.
was like so plain.
Yeah.
This was just such a vanilla like email. I was like, of all the reasons to take to
Right.
social and become a crusader, like
Yeah.
why this one? And then her response was, oh, why not that one? I was like,
Why not?
for a million reasons, why not that one?
Yeah.
For a million reasons.
Like, why not the
but yeah.
dick pics, right? Like you're
Yeah,
getting
why not the
you're
dick
getting
pics?
dick pics in your inbox, but you're gonna call out this thing.
Right. Why not the people like insulting you?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. And so I don't know. It was just one of those things. It's funny because I wrote my message on LinkedIn and I was about to go play golf. And I knew what I was about to do. I was like, I told the guy I was gonna go play with, I was like, hold on, I'm about to start a massive fire and I'm about to walk away for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna come back and there's gonna be something there. And there was.
Mhm.
This wasn't the first time I'd called someone out on LinkedIn either. Some people were acting like, oh, you're a clout chaser, like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it was a lot easier to call out the CEO of Barstool for being a fucking hypocrite. Like,
Mhm.
sure. But this was not my first rodeo on calling people out for bashing salespeople on social
Yeah.
media. You know, there was just so much hypocrisy in what was happening here and such a lack of awareness that I was like, why would I not go after this? Like there's this person whose name is getting dragged out, who's gotten so much unwanted attention, this being Rachel, of course.
Mhm.
And I know in a lot of ways I magnified it. But my goal with magnifying it was to like spin it in a good way for her, which as far as I know, and as far as what she's told me has been nothing but positive.
Mhm.
You know, I was always worried about the Barstool troll farm that they have that is so boisterous
Yeah.
and ravenous.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah.
fiend for controversy. So that was kind of my MO on that whole thing, was just like, you know, there hasn't really been, salespeople have been very fractured for a long time. It's like it's just so easy to shit on salespeople. It's like
Yeah.
just punching down. It's too fucking easy. Like do better.
Yeah.
You know. So for the first time, you know, we're starting to see salespeople kind of like get some self-respect,
Mhm.
and people are starting to respect it. Like there's been so much, sales is just a bad word. Like everyone pictures the used car dealer, like, but now there's like, you know, people are selling SaaS. Like these are legitimate businesses selling legitimate products. Like salespeople are no longer greasy 60-year-old like weirdos chain smoking cigs. They're like 25-year-old people going to Coachella and wearing culturally appropriating costumes, blacking out, and then showing up and closing $1 million deals with
Yeah.
CEO of AT&T.
Chain
Like
vaping. Yeah.
chain vaping and their jewels and their, you know, it's you know, there's a slight, is it an evolution? I don't know. It's a change. But my point being, it's like that's a really common, it's like just such a common job now. It's not like this like small little subset of people, little gremlins. Like,
Mhm.
this is like who so many people are, who go to great schools and are doing big things and are creating things and are like so much more than just simply like a greasy dude on a used car sales lot. So that's like part
Yeah.
of the perception that I think needs to change.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And again, having done plenty of it, I mean, there's a reason that I also do a version of it now that involves content and marketing and stuff, because I prefer to have it easier than when it's fucking, you know, door to door was my version. I've done some cold calling like with a phone, and then I've done the cold calling though in Austin. It wasn't all that cold. It was more like 120 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And you're going up to doors with an outsourced firm, and you're knocking. You're not allowed to go in their fucking house because of the rules of being outsourced. And so a big, fat, sweaty guy like me, who in a suburb around Austin, if you know, Austin has got a certain vibe, obviously, which is why I was there. But the suburbs are just Texas. The suburbs are just fucking Texas. And so I keep long sleeves on because I have tattoos. And so I'm in long sleeves, sweating at a fucking door, you know, just getting no like clicking, easiest sale in the world. Do you not want to use Time Warner anymore? Cool. Like AT&T
Yeah.
is a thing now. It's fiber optics. Easiest sale in the world. Still fucking sucks. Day in,
Yep.
day out, sucks as an experience.
You're putting your neck on the line, man. Like
Yeah.
cold calling, like knocking on doors is harder than cold calling to me, because at least you're faceless.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think you would convert more in person in general, just being face to face, but like that, oh God, please don't answer.
Yeah.
I've never done door to door. I hope to God I never have to do door to door.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're
so
trying to
yeah,
make
my
it
respect for
illegal
that.
in most places, you know, like do not
I mean,
whole
I get it.
neighborhoods are like, don't come in here.
Yeah, no unwanted solicitation.
Yes, exactly. And you know,
Yeah.
we're with one of those shady, almost MLM style outsource groups, and so we would break all
Okay.
those laws anyway and go into those areas, which is an
Right.
extra fun, right? Because it's like you're not supposed to be here. I called our private security firm, and no, like open the door and you can feel that AC come out, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, they're just like slamming it into you, and you just go back to schlepping around. So you know, having been like in the trenches, like, you know, I'm someone like you, right, who then doesn't want to, as an appreciation enough for what it takes to, yeah, fuck yeah, we're going to call out bad tactics. Hopefully people will learn.
Right.
But we're not going to
Right.
like shit on people for trying to like make some money in like a really, really tough job. And that's what it all boils down to. But I got to say, this whole thing, I'll have to throw this in the intro or something for anyone who's not paying attention. This is all about Barstool Sports and Erica Nardini and some fucking LinkedIn shit that went back and forth. But
LinkedIn drama, your boy's the king of it.
yeah, LinkedIn drama, and I'm only used to like the usual like Buffalo level of that. So it was really nice to be able to like watch something go down at a heavy level, or like, you know, I see even like Josh Brown was like calling out, but then he wasn't calling out. Who is it? Brian Burns, the guy who fucking does all the videos. He's just walking around in his, I hope it's his neighborhood, because if that's not in his neighborhood, that's creepy.
I
as
always
shit.
wonder what that looks like. I'm like, I should go do some walk around videos. I'm like, how stupid would I look? Like I can't get over how fucking dumb I would look. Just
yeah, here it is. Just having a
does he even
natural
have a dog? I don't
conversation
know.
with myself,
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
It's a little odd, but he didn't use his name. He calls him out in a post about how it's lame to just to like call out and like, here's what you shouldn't do without adding positive value. Interestingly, it was a call out post in its own, and I'm like, yeah, I know that guy too. And then I could call out like his shitty LinkedIning, right? Because you know, one of the pet peeves for me, since I have them on all sides, is when I mean, it'd be kind of like if you had a post and then, or a corporate bro page posted something, and then you went on as if you were disconnected from it and was like, yeah, awesome, thanks for sharing this, thanks for like, that's fucking lame and stupid.
Oh, I go on there and I'm like, hey, look, it's me liking my own shit.
Yeah,
that's literally what I type. That's like what I have. Look, there's me, the loser, liking my own shit again.
And then some people do that and they think it's working, and like it doesn't, like they like, oh, no one's going to notice that when my employee shares a video of me and I go on and say, hey,
you're gonna do it, just own it.
Sharing.
Just own it.
Like, it's your fucking job to share. Like, what do you like?
Right.
That's like the so lame. And the 10 extra views that got your reach is, you know, in my view, not worth the insane credibility hit that comes from transparently misrepresenting yourself. Right. So I like calling out all that stuff, but hopefully like give something useful afterwards, right? Like give something. So here's what you could do. You know, I like the approach of like tear it down, but then fucking provide. So maybe try this, you know, maybe fuck Brian, if you're going to like comment on your own posts and pretend like it's not your team sharing it, then comment like, you know what I forgot when I was saying that was blah, blah, blah. Right. Like fucking add something to it. Not just like, I really appreciate you sharing my stuff.
Totally. I totally agree with that. Some of what Brian does, I think is hilarious.
It is. Yeah.
But like, you know, I get it. It's just like to me, it's just like own your shit. Like, it's not that big a deal. We all want to do it. Let's not pretend and like make a, you know, fake account or whatever.
Yeah, we're trying to boost our reach. Like, it's part of the game, but like own it. And especially if you're the brutal truth. And I follow the fucking guy. Like, there's a reason I see this shit is because like I enjoy and actually find most of what he says actually like, okay, that makes sense and that's valuable. But then when you're coming, and I've dealt with this before, right? If you're coming with the bringing the truth, then anything you do that's off really stinks. Like, it really just kind of smells bad. It's like, okay, that's truth when it serves you and not when it doesn't, which is like, our whole entire culture, our entire country. It's like Dwight Schrute. I'm going to keep dropping Office references just to like get used to it. It's like my whole fucking life. It's just like, no, I'm big on the system. I'm going to tell you the exact truth unless I need to lie to you for my own ends. Bad marketing and bad sales. It's bad engagement.
Right. It's like the thing is like with any brand, like it takes so long to build up a positive reputation, like a good reputation. And then just one stupid piece of shit move like ruins it all.
Yeah.
And it's just like, while everything else you have done may have been in the right, in the right mind, like with the right intent, that one thing is going to erode everything else you do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm going to fuck that up at some point.
Yes.
I look forward to my own apology. I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
Yes,
but
and then your comeback.
And then, with
everything
trying
to
tear myself down to build myself back. That's all part of my long game.
Hell yeah.
Long game is just fail hard.
Yeah, most people just disappear and get called out and canceled, but I'm going to come back with like having learned so much about myself and about what matters to people.
Exactly. Exactly. People eat that shit. People love a comeback story.
Yeah. I mean, you might want to tank yourself just so you can get that comeback, because that could probably bring you to a different level. Just think about that.
I should very much consider what that would look like.
Yeah, I know you tried with this whole Nardini thing, but
kind of did.
Here's the most appalling thing that I found in that whole interview, and then I want to get off that interview because this is not supposed to be all about that one fucking interaction. Catalogs are coming back in a big way, she said, and I almost fucking fell out of my chair. So, what is it that I'm missing in all of reality, and certainly the world of marketing, where somebody who I think knows something about what she's talking about, and is in a position of power, says something like, catalogs are coming back in a big way. What the fuck is that? I ask you.
Here's what it is. So she did not have the right expectations of what our conversation was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
She was so on her heels and so off balance that what came out of her mouth in that moment was so egregiously like outrageous that in that moment she lost all credibility. Yeah. And I'll say, like, honestly, I don't believe, like, people can make their own judgments. I don't believe like Erica Nardini is fundamentally a bad person. I think she underestimated me. I think she fucked up. She did something really stupid. She said, "Oh, this will be funny if I slander this salesperson online." She didn't think about it. Yeah. People were like, "She's racist. She's like tearing down women." Honestly, like, I believe in my soul that was not her intent. Like, she wasn't like, "Oh, this is like a woman of color, single mom, let me slander her." Mm-hmm. She was like, "This is a sales rep, I'm going to do it." And it just so happened that was the case. So my point on the podcast of bringing it up is, like, if I'm a journalist and I'm finding the hook is Barstool CEO slanders single black mother for doing her job. Like, that's what the media does, right? They build it up. And then I was like, that's what the optics look like. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that was her intent, not for 1 second. No. She was just so ill prepared. She was so not ready that the things she said were just like, she'd done no research. She had done no preparation. She could have, like, she thought we were going to talk about like this history and state of sales as a whole and not the whole like issue at hand, which is like the only place and only thing I was trying to go. Yeah. So the catalogs thing, like, I know Barstool makes a bunch of their money off like merch and like that type of thing. So, like, I guess maybe if you want to do a catalog, like, sorry, I actually can't justify a catalog. I can't even pretend like I can. I can't, because that's not how people even shop now. But, you know, like, even Sky Mall doesn't print new. I learned after I made this recent episode about, I mentioned Sky Mall. I didn't even realize they don't make Sky Mall anymore. It exists, but it's online like everything else. Yeah. So I can't really speak to that.
The most captive audience, it was just a lack of
preparation.
Gave up catalog.
Yeah. I was just like, even I was flustered by that response because, like, I over prepared. Like, I did so much research on her. I learned everything about her, everything about the Barstool sales team. Like, she says, you don't know anything about the Barstool sales. I literally know people on that team. I know the Barstool sales team plenty well, more than I think that rattled her. But, like, you're sitting there trying to anticipate what the CEO of a $450 million company is going to do. You're like, she might take this route. She might go that route. Well, if you say this, she might come back with this. She was like so unpredictable and so unprepared. I couldn't prepare or predict the lack of preparation. Yeah. So that put me on my heels. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, where are we? So even I got rattled by that. So like I didn't know what to do. I could have like pushed into that. I could have like dove in, like, tell me more about the catalogs. But I just was like, I have one goal here. My goal is to talk about the issue that happened, the incident that happened.
Yeah.
Was doxing a sales rep. Period. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. And I thought, well, maybe he thought about this afterwards and looked into it. I thought about looking into, like, I was going to start searching shit. Like, are catalogs like, what am I missing here? Like, I'm clearly not up on the trends because I'm missing the part where the big word in marketing is bringing catalogs back.
Well, it's just also like, doesn't get the SaaS business. Like, imagine like sifting through a catalog of like software. Like, what the fuck does that even look like? It's not even a physical thing. So like, what are you getting, like blurbs?
Pages of descriptions?
Yeah, like, okay, I don't know, screenshots of like UI. I don't know what that even looks like. So that was the other piece, is just like, didn't know the audience.
Imagine a magazine, a very expensive magazine, which are insanely full of ads anyway. But what if we just took out all the content and we only had a giant ad full of magazines, and boom, there's your catalog.
And boom, and every SaaS company's like, I'm agreeing to this and I want to be in this thing.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Because you know what? If that was me, hell yeah, I'd sit down and read this in my spare time.
Like, it's a miracle if 3 pieces of my mail don't go straight in the trash can.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, if I get a piece of mail that actually matters to me, like, big day for me. It's usually an Amazon package that I've ordered online through their online catalog.
Yes.
That's about it.
That's what she meant. Catalogs.
Maybe.
Like websites. Maybe. She forgot.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
By catalog, I mean a website. Have you heard of this?
No, go on.
Okay.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. I still feel thrown by it to this moment. But I have to move on from that. So, and enough about Erica. So, but more about print media and your dad's relationship to the moving on of print to hashtags. But seriously, one of the things is, as I look through, your LinkedIn and kind of get a sense of your history, and you see baseball, and then you see the account exec stuff. A couple of questions. So one question is, when you left Glassdoor, did you then go on Glassdoor and talk shit about Glassdoor?
Yeah. Duh. Oh, of course I did. No, I didn't go on there and like actually like bash Glassdoor. I had a great time at Glassdoor. I just, like, if I'm being completely honest with Glassdoor, it was kind of like little league shit for me compared to selling at Oracle, which everyone hates Oracle. But anytime you sell something that's $1 million deals and highly complex and highly technical, a lot of parties need to be involved versus like advertising. I could have sold Glassdoor in like high school. Most of us could have sold it in high school. It's like really easy. It's like display ads, the ads you see on the side of like websites. That's what we sell. Do you want to be in front of people? There you go. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. There's no nuance. There is nothing special about it. There is nothing like groundbreaking about it. The role was awesome. The company was doing well. I just was like so unintellectually aroused. I was not stimulated. I was not thinking. I didn't have to think. And a lot of what they were doing from like a business sense, like MBA Ross was like, this makes complete sense. In fact, we don't need sales reps. We should be a self-serve model. If Ross is CEO, we don't have sales reps. Yeah, that sucks. I know I'm a sales rep. Mm-hmm. But as a sales rep, I was like, the writing's on the wall here. Like, I know where this is going. Like, we're not IPOing. We're going to get acquired by a company that like handles a bunch of HR recruitment style software. That's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. And like, we're all going to move on with our lives. And like a few people at Glassdoor are going to get rich. Like, great business.
Yeah.
Good leadership. Solid product. Like, just like as an average sales rep there, it was just like, it was not for me. So I was like, I'm going to leave. I want to go start something, or I want to go to business school because I need to learn more. So that was honestly the pull why I left.
Yeah.
I was too comfortable. Honestly, I was so comfortable.
Well, that can be a terrible problem. Not for many people.
Yeah. And like, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like at this point right now, take a happily comfortable, cushy job. It just wasn't something I was going to be there. I wasn't going to be there for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was time for your boy to hit the old dusty trail.
Yeah.
Move on.
Exactly. So
people were showing up in interviews being like, I hear corporate bro works here.
Oh,
and they're like, oh God.
Like, no. We don't
like
know.
He used to.
We don't know who that is. Shut up.
Yeah.
Sign this form. As I look, and then since I listened to that one podcast and you got in some kind of odd conversation about your dad, and as the opening remarks there, as your dad is someone who, in journalism and obviously has that kind of old school view of like it being like a noble profession and wishing it was still kind of more like that, right? And stuff like that, and dealing with
totally
where things have gone online. So, having at least, from one parent's side, like that kind of a background and that kind of a relationship with the world, and with you having, done the baseball thing, doing the comedy thing, doing the content creation online thing, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are your parents?
I was about to say, is this about to be how disappointed are they? Because very. No, they're not. I mean, they were.
Right.
They were until I was right. Like, that's the thing. And I get it, because I'm going on there. I'm making an absolute ass of myself. I'm saying things. Like, I think, and my dad appreciates this, is like, what I do well is tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't sugarcoat. Like, this is what it is. And like, let's look at it from the lens of like what this fucking shit is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why Corporate Bro was created in the first place. Because I looked around, I was at Oracle. I was like, look at all these 22-year-olds who black out at Coachella and slang $1 million deals. None of us wear clothes that fit right. All of us just graduated from college. We're at like this bar in the city here called Blue Light or Kells, getting wasted on the weekends and somehow being trusted to run 18-month sales cycles with CEOs at the Fortune 100 companies. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
That's actually what's happening. But no, I'm an account executive at Oracle, and we sell database, which is how the top financial institutions and airlines all manage like their data, and it's highly secure. And the U.S. Department of Defense uses it too. So like, let's just call it what it is. So like from the standpoint of like telling the truth, my dad respects that. My parents are both like respected business, professionals.
Mm-hmm.
You are in comedy, as long as you're doing comedy, until you quote make it, which I still don't feel like I have. I just have enough credibility to do and say the things that I do.
Yeah.
But early on, like, I didn't. So they're just like, oh God, like, please, like, just stay away from us. Like, don't put us in this.
Right.
Are you going to lose your job? Like, will you even be able to get a job? And then over time, it was like, actually, I'm going to get a lot more jobs for this.
Yeah.
So, they're fully bought. Like, my mom's a savage, but she's like she's in financial services, which is the most conservative, industry out there of like, you can't be like, I can't do this. I can't be near you around this. So
right.
At this point, they're pretty stoked on it now at this point, but for early on, it was like, oh my God, please.
Yeah. That's a hard pitch. Like, no, this is going to lead somewhere. I swear.
I'm making online videos, Mom. Like,
I'm going to be big in show business.
Yeah. I'm going to be a movie star, Mom. She's like, all right.
Like, I mean, on Netflix.
Fucked up on the first child.
Yeah, exactly. I better crank out some more. Is it too late? Is it too late to go back?
Yeah. They tried 2 more times.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, and then with their
but at this point, it's all good.
Yeah. Now it really depends on your success. So
shouldn't have fed me that paint.
Exactly. Now you'll think next time. Yeah. Think next time. Maybe
use real baby food, Mom.
Yeah. Maybe furniture polish wasn't the best fucking snack. You ever think about that?
Yeah. It was red, but it didn't taste like strawberry.
That's right. That's right. Everything else did afterwards for some god awful reason, and since that's why I drink 805.
As a kid, I ate crayons.
Like strawberry.
I ate some crayons when I was a kid. I gave my dog some crayons too. We both ate crayons. We were both not good after that. We were not good.
Well, I'm glad that you share. I mean, that's
fun story
about you. You know that you're.
Yeah, I feel like I needed to get that out there.
Yeah.
It was one time we ate them because, well, I told the dog too, but then I also wanted to as well. So he's my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just doing fun shit with my best friend, my dog.
If you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Come on, blood brothers.
That's not relevant. I felt like that was something I needed to get off my chest because I haven't told people. Really that.
I appreciate that.
This felt like the right time.
That'll be the cold open clip. So just
guy has 1.5 beers and starts telling people he ate crayons.
Yeah. Well, just to even the field like you did with your dog.
Yeah.
my cousin, my older cousin, when he was a kid, drank furniture polish. So that's where that reference came from, and developed a stutter that never really went away all that well. So.
I'm sorry, the stutter's not funny, but
yeah.
it's funny. It's funny.
It is. I mean, not generally. I empathize
generally speaking,
with
no,
people
but
who have
like
stutters, but not my cousin.
Same.
It's
damn it. Damn it, cousin. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry.
You can't win them all. You can't.
I wish it would have worked better. And and we'll see how that turns out. Maybe he'll turn that around, and he could. You can be president someday with a stutter. So
right, it could be the first.
You could be second. Looks like
second. Yeah, let's be
with a stutter. Anyone can be president here because it's America. So come on, let's do it.
Yeah. Come on now, be president. Tight.
So
I'll be running in like 15 years.
Right.
I will be.
If you destroy a lot of evidence, you might be president.
I know.
You can go for that.
That's the one thing I did tell my parents. I said, at least I won't go into politics because there's too much evidence out there against me at this point.
Yeah. But again, I think we've eliminated that standard in this country. So I think
that's true.
We'll have a shot.
That's true.
Though I think the crayons thing might be the thing that does it. Like we can get with the rest of this stuff, but what the fuck is that about the dog and the crayons and who had the first crayon? We don't want to.
All
right, so we can attempt to inject some kind of value because it's important in all marketing and sales to inject value-added content into the content.
Yes.
So besides bagging on catalogs and Erica and that whole thing and crayons and baseball and comedy, for real shit, because you engage with salespeople all the time, right? That's the whole thing of what you do. And I know it's not about like, so you're going to go in and you're going to be the trainer and you're going to give them fucking tips and like teach the same shit that Sandler and Dale Carnegie and whoever the fuck has been like training people in forever. Yours is about like lightening the mood and actually providing some fucking entertainment for people who live miserable existences for the most part.
Yes.
So, but beyond that, you do have a background in it. You do deal with salespeople all the time. Your content couldn't be as good without actually having a good fucking beat on like what works and what doesn't, right? So is there anything, given we're talking about call outs, we're talking about all this kind of shit, is there anything in the world of people, so people like me, so like even take it down, let's take it down a level from that mid-market shit and like let's go nitty gritty sales, like some dude sitting in an agency who's doing that blend of like content and sales, right? Like that's how I generate fucking sales. Is I do this podcast, the networking podcast, that kind of stuff. It's a inbound and very low level of outbound kind of sales approach. So for the person who's doing both of those worlds that you're familiar with, like what can they do to, in the world of LinkedIn, in the world of these different fucking platforms, like what are some good ideas for where people should start? Forget the shit to avoid. We're covering that like crazy. What can people do? Where can they fucking start to get some footing, to give themselves a chance in what is a professional loser world?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I'm going to say a buzzword that pisses people off, but like it's the truth, is personal brand. Is like trying to understand who you are as a brand, because you're a brand. If people have an opinion of you, you're a fucking brand. You have a brand to your family, your friends, like your coworkers. And so one of the things that I was trying to do is like, who am I to my friends and like my coworkers and so forth. And that piece happened to be like, I'm the goofy, funny guy. So I was like, well, let's like try to amplify that. Let's try and make some more stuff and see if I am that to people who don't know me. Like video messaging is in right now. Like creativity is in. Like there is no silver bullet. I wish there was. I'd be a billionaire to have a Nobel Prize if there was. Like the fact of the matter is, and I'm gonna sound so fucking Gary V, I hate it, but just like make shit. Fucking make shit, and it's gonna be shitty and stupid and dumb, and eventually it's gonna become something. Like know the adjectives of how people describe you and like lean into that. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's videos, like whether it's writing, whether it's like the most beautiful handwritten notes you've ever seen, like get creative. I mean, there are so many different ways to get in front of people now with social media. Like you don't have to just send the emails and do the cold calls. But at the same time, like everybody's like, I don't want to do it. Like it's work. Yeah, that's the shitty part. People are like, can I just like be in your videos? Can you just like repost me? Can you just Motherfucker, I've been grinding like nights and weekends for 8 years for $0, like to try and build this brand because, like, first of all, I enjoy it. Like, that's the truth. Like, fundamentally, I enjoy it. If I didn't, I wouldn't spend the time on it. But at the same time, like, only after the repeated, consistent behavior of reinforcing what my brand, what I wanted my brand to be, like, did I get something out of it? Did it start to become something?
Yeah.
So, like, you've got a podcast, you got people on it, like, it's driving leads. Once you start to find it, like, double down on that one thing. Like, I can't sit here and tell everybody what they can or can't do. They have to go fail a bunch, or like maybe stumble into getting it right on the first try. Like, kudos.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it's just fundamentally being creative. And yes, like, there are people sending out canned emails. There are people sending out like 17-step sequences, but like, get creative in those emails. I used to, like, some of my friends, we would like take somebody's LinkedIn photo and put it on the milk cartons of like missing person. And like send out, like, put people's faces in GIFs and put people's faces on, like, I don't know, dumb shit. And yeah, there was a couple times when people were like, wow, this is really offensive. There's a lot of people missing out there. And you put my face on it. And I'm like, you responded, motherfucker. So who's really winning right now? Gotcha. It's me. Yeah. So you're not dead. But like, there's so many different people in the world. There's so many different ways to do it. Like, you just got to find one, but you also got to be committed to doing it, period.
Yeah. Get
consistent. Put in the volume of work and just fucking do it. And people give up too quick. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
That's it. Just do that. Just do what I just said.
That's the end of the vague, fucking
super
story.
General, just like super inspirational. Just fucking do it. But honestly, just fucking do it. Like, pick something and do it. And it's going to suck for a while. It's just going to suck. Some of my old shit is really bad. Some of my new shit is really bad. Some of the stuff I don't put out is fucking horrible. Some of the stuff I put out is fucking horrible. Like, you're not going to hit every time.
No.
Believe me, I know when my shit is terrible. I don't need people DMing me to let me know, hey, man, not your best. I fucking know.
Yeah, thanks.
So
I'm already crying.
Internet's fun.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is a fucking nightmare sometimes.
Sales are dope. Never ever stop selling. Sadness, period.
Woo! Sadness. Cool.
Edit.
Well, there's the big value add. So I'm glad we got something useful that somebody might care about.
But in all honesty, if you want to, like, actual actionable steps you can do.
Yeah.
Send an anonymous survey to your friends, coworkers, anybody's opinions you value. List out 10 questions. Just be like, look, I need you to be brutally honest with me. Do 1 to 10 scores. Ask for some, like, short answer stuff. Ask for adjectives like, how trustworthy am I? How warm am I? How funny am I? How whatever am I? And say, like, don't hold back. Like, people are very scared of feedback and knowing exactly how they stand and how they come off to people, but you gotta know.
Yeah.
You gotta know. And then you can start working on all this. You find where the weaknesses are, find where the strengths are, go after your strengths and push the strengths, or be like, fuck, I'm not very warm and I want people to like me and I think I'm pretty warm, but guess what, motherfucker, you're not. Your own family thinks you're kind of a cold-hearted bitch. So, like, let's take some steps to fix that. So, like, you want to do something, send out a survey to your friends and family. Like, that's very easy to understand where you are and then start building from there.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I've done it.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to make us do that in a self-help cult I was in one time. The beauty was that
join my cult.
You could take those answers and then still talk yourself into some stupid bullshit, self-deluded version of yourself. So you could.
But that's what does happen. That is real. That is real.
Yeah.
Like, people are so delusional about who they think they are.
Guess what?
Like, what you think you are versus what everyone else thinks you are. Like, there is a delta. There's almost universally a delta, no matter how self-aware you are.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
find it.
Especially if you're really convinced of how self-aware you are, that might be a fucking bad sign.
Those are the people that need this the most. The people who are really fucking convinced.
Yes.
In the world in general.
No, I know.
You know, this whole idea that, like, new information can't change minds anymore. That's so fucking weird to me. But that's where we're at.
My guns. Like, cool. Yes.
Yeah. It's a scientist. Someone paid him for something.
It's right.
Yeah, okay, probably.
My lizard brain isn't buying that shit.
Like, yeah, what, he's just a PhD, studied this his whole life? No chance he knows better than me.
Yeah.
I read on the Facebook that there's different than that. So now that scientist is stupid.
Yeah. Thanks, 5G. Yeah. Yes. Yes. What a time to be.
Anyway.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Be open to feedback, people. Fuck.
Yeah. Try that.
I certainly am, even though it hurts.
Yes.
It does hurt.
I mean, I don't respond to messages, but I would be open if I did.
I respond to so many messages, but I'm very close to no longer doing that. Honestly, I'm very close for a multitude of reasons, but
yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, that personal contact thing gets hard to scale, as we like to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does, though. It does. Especially when people want shit from you all the time. It's like, what else do I have to give?
Right.
Like, you've seen everything. You have everything in mind.
You want me to come out and dance and joke and like you're gonna laugh at me? Yeah. At least give me some
make the clown dance. Is that what you want? You want the clown to come dance for you for free?
Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly.
This wasn't as funny as I thought.
Funny how?
Just like you can't win.
Can't win. No. Well, that's why it's good that you were already geared up to be a professional loser. Because then you're not.
Oh yeah, greased. Oh man, the conversations I have with people, quote, in the business Hollywood, they're just like, your stuff is so fucking stupid and unfunny. Like, I don't even want to affiliate myself with it, nor will I recommend your stuff to my friends. And I'm like, wow, that's very nice of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so honest.
Yeah.
And I just take it like such a little biatch. Wow, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that feedback. No, that's super useful. Yeah, no, I'll go take some classes on comedy. That's exactly what I should do.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Should I workshop
I should quit.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Person of influence who could have helped me but didn't.
Yes.
Anyway, tangent.
Obviously, you need to be the best thing ever to get content on Netflix because, it shows
because their stuff only hits.
Exactly. Well, now we're devolving into bitterness and just ranting. So
now you all hear me. Guy has 2 beers and he gets real bitter. 1 beer, he tells stories about eating crayons. 2 beers, he gets bitter.
Yeah, the 2 beers, the bitterness. And while I usually appreciate that, I want to respect your time.
I appreciate
but
it.
Yeah,
help me.
Yeah.
Don't let me say something stupid.
Yes.
Too late.
Yeah, we're gonna cut his mic. Shit. We don't have a production team. Who the fuck am I talking to? It's just talking to me. Yeah, no, but I do. The feedback thing is crucial. As long as you're geared up to actually hear it and actually adopt it. Otherwise, you're just wasting your friend's time too.
Everyone's time. Yep.
And no, but seriously, obviously, like, love the content. I really appreciate you coming on. I had a worry. Here's the transparent part where, because we had talked obviously, and like it was well before all this Nardini shit and all like that stuff was going down, because you had some things and it was like, all right, let's talk in November. And then when I messaged and there was that auto message about, here's how you can book me to talk. I'm like, oh, that was a nice one. That was a clever, like, yeah, sure, I'll come on your thing if you pay me. I was like, oh man, well done, sir, well done. That took one more follow-up, but I was gonna have an episode just about like, this should have been the fucking corporate bro episode, but you know what, he's a sales guy, not
but
he
went on Barstool and suddenly he was too cool.
Yeah, exactly. He got blown up by Erica and now he's beyond everything. So
yeah, I mean, it is like a fine line. Like, I do a bunch of these podcasts, and like, I'm totally good with these podcasts that have like, intent and planning, or like there's preparation involved. And like, so often when you're in my position, people are like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Like, and I'm like I work for 4 companies and I try to make like content every week. And I'm like doing all this shit. Like, so much of it is free, but I also am like, I've done it for free for so long. At some point, like, I do want this to be my life. I do want to be able to like eat food so I don't starve to death and die.
Yeah.
And like the asks start to build up and they start to wear on you, and you're just kind of like I have, like, for the booking stuff, it's like, can you drop into my sale like meeting and like do this? It's like, I get paid to work. So like, if you want to take my time, like, you should pay me for some of these things. Like, when I'm working, if it's like drop into a sales team meeting or like send your friend a video message, like, that is how I make some money. Like, that's like how I continue to make content and like spend my weekends making shit so that I can put it out for free.
Mm-hmm.
So this weird balance. That's like, it's something I'm like trying to figure out. It's really hard because I want to make everyone happy. Like, the worst thing I can do is let people down.
Yeah.
And so, I hate being that guy. Like, hey, check out my Cameo page. Like, I'll send your friend a happy birthday through that. And they're like, oh, like, I'm not hitting quota. And I'm like, if you don't have like $60, then you shouldn't book anything ever. You should just honestly go get some PB&Js, stock the fridge with peanut butter, jelly, and bread, because like, I'm not like asking for $50,000 here to do something, but like you are asking for time out of my day. You are asking for me to like deviate whatever I was trying to do to go do this. And I'm not trying to sound like a whiny asshole here. Like that's just how it is. And there's this weird balance of what do I do like for people who I just want to make happy because I want to make everyone happy versus like I got work to do. I got shit to do. Right. I got a life that isn't just like I'm on call.
I actually need a return on some of the shit. And I get it. I fucking totally get it. I mean, I'm like not the fucking level we're talking about here, but having, when you've done consulting, like there's always the fucking thing, right? Because consulting ultimately like, oh, I'm going to have a conversation with you and my, whatever's in my brain is going to come out in that conversation. So where the hell is that like going to be a good conversation? Like the intro conversation, hey, like I have a quick question. And then where do you start paying? Like, at what point?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it. No, but that is it. It's not like a matter of level. Like that's just what it is. Like you are a resource. People pay you to be that resource. And at some point, like someone says, quick question, it becomes a long conversation. You're like, this is why people pay me.
Yeah.
Because I have the answers to this. So like, I mean, it's the same.
Yeah. And it's like,
it isn't so like clear.
You have to draw your own line, right? Because there's no fucking recipe for that. Like there's a certain point, like you decide like, oh, well, here's where that stops. And I mean, here's where this is probably where it was a good idea to have stopped, but now I'm doing the generous thing. And now I'm doing the needy, I don't want to let you down thing. Right. And now I'm doing like, do you want to share a crayon thing? And like, now we're
do you want to like split one of these crayons? I got red ones left.
Yeah.
Exactly. You want to split a crayon. Yes,
like
that's exactly what happened.
Then you get so big that you have a rider. And so when you show up to your gigs, your speaking gigs, like they have to have a whole bowl full of fucking crayons, but only browns, right? With only brown
crayons. They taste like chocolate in my head. They also get you way higher. That's the crazy part. The brown ones, I don't know what chemicals
they do. Damn, it's not placebo.
Hit.
It's not placebo. It's what they put in it.
No.
It's like Crazy Horse. In the world of 40s, when you're going to drink a 40, Crazy Horse has something extra in it. And I think that's why it's banned in a lot of states. But, like, just take my word for it.
That's why we went to Four Locos. We take that shit to our hands. And that's why they banned that too.
Then they banned
that's why we can't have nice shit.
Yeah. Now you have to mix your Red Bull with your vodka. Then they stopped doing that. Fucking
making me work for it. Fine.
Fuck this world. I thought we had freedom.
Yeah. Give me an Adderall and a shot of tequila and exactly. We're good to go.
Yeah, that's my adult crayon. Eat that shit. All right, man. Well, I am going to cut you loose now. I do really appreciate the time and love the contents. And I can only assume that your appearance here is going to just blow your career up even further, where finally your parents will love you again.
I got such high hopes for this. Like it's going to be big. I'm pretty sure.
It's big in Buffalo, I believe is the phrase they use. It's kind of like Hasselhoff.
All your followers are going to come start trolling me.
Yeah.
Just like Erica's.
Yeah. A good solid 8-9 people are going to be like right at your shit. So watch that follower count go up. But I do want to give you, is there anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to fucking announce? Anything like, where do people find you? What do you want people to go find?
Yeah. I mean, you can find me anywhere. Drop that corporate bro in Google, see where it takes you. Mm-hmm. You want to see me troll professionals on LinkedIn. That's an honor. That's a real treat for some. You want to watch the skits, you can go to corporate bro on Instagram or YouTube. But otherwise, not really a ton of spots to find me. You'll probably stumble across me at some point and be like, who the fuck is this guy? It's me. It's me. So yeah, that's it. I got nothing really to plug. I do have a Slack group that's free if you're in sales. A lot of knowledge share. You're not in your company Slack, so you can say whatever the fuck you want and ask questions that don't make you sound stupid or talk shit about your employer, which I always enjoy. So
yeah, that sounds compelling.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's been an honor to be here.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. Enjoy the rest of your beer and however many crayons you have for the night. And I appreciate coming on, giving the real dirt, and have a good one, bud. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
See ya.